is Dr. Jenny from the block, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel, and if you're returning, welcome back. So today's gem is on the heels of my previous video in which I shared with you all that I have not been practicing therapy for about a year now, and that I have transitioned into doing equity consulting work as well as mental health / wellness consulting work. And the love that I got on that video was tremendous. I got so many messages from folks, one, cheering me on, but also asking questions, and particularly questions about what does an equity consultant / mental health wellness consultant do. And I recognized that a lot of folks were expressing interest and curiosity in potentially making a career shift, or are trying to prepare themselves for what to expect as they transition into consulting work, whether it's through a 9-to-5 or as an independent contractor. So for today's video, I wanted to just briefly share a little bit about what I do on any given day within any given week. What I do love about this work is that no day looks the same. And so I want to share a little bit about, one, the things I do, but also some of the skills that I think are really important to be successful in this role. I want to also say that as I'm sharing things, if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know what she's talking about, or I'm unfamiliar with that, that's okay. This is not to intimidate people or deter people from following this trend, this field, and equity work and mental health work. It is really to give you that foundational knowledge of what you can expect, and all these skills are learnable. I can absolutely say that when I first graduated and left grad school and hopped into the working world, that I didn't necessarily have all these skills 100%. And so I have definitely leaned into professional development, trainings, seminars, workshops, etc. to really help me build up this skill. So do not be intimidated. You can absolutely do this. This is 100% a learned profession. You learn as you go. You're continuously evolving in this work, so you don't need to know everything to be successful. Okay, so with that being said, let's jump into it. So the number one thing that I do on a day-to-day, weekly basis is content / curriculum development. What I mean by that is I'm always creating presentations. One thing to know, that whether you're doing this as an equity or mental health / wellness consultant, is that you will always be educating people. That is a big part of the work. And so one of the things that I do is I create that content. So if someone wants a presentation on emotional intelligence, I need to do the research. I need to know their needs and what they're wanting me to cover, in addition to bringing my own knowledge and expertise and making content, whether that's finding videos to share, putting together a PowerPoint, creating a job aid. A big part of being a consultant is that you will have to be able to share knowledge. So that is definitely the number one strength, skill set, and to-do item that you will experience on any given day in this work. The second thing that I do the most in my work is collaboration. This work is about people. If you really don't like people, you have a difficulty with interacting with people, you might want to rethink this career path, because you are always engaging with people on a day-to-day basis. Very rarely do I have days that people are not reaching out via email with various requests, or if I'm working on a project with another team, having to have that constant communication in order to deliver a product. And so we need to be able to have those skills to work with others, because this work is often, especially if you're doing it at a larger scale, is often not a solo project, and you will need to have those interpersonal skills to be able to identify the goals, work together, manage differences of opinion, and be able to deliver a work product that benefits, your staff, the agency, etc. So being able to collaborate and really having interpersonal skills is something that is very, very important for this role, whether you're doing equity or mental health / wellness consulting. So for the third thing, I'll first start with the skill that I think that you need, and then I'll kind of break down all the different things that I do with that skill. In order to succeed in this consulting work, you have to have analytical and critical thinking skills. You just have to. So for instance, one of the things that I do on a weekly basis is that I review discrimination complaints. And so with that, I need to have an understanding of our agency's policies and procedures. I need to have an understanding of equal employment opportunity laws, state laws, etc., and be able to bring that information from the crevices of my brain in order to apply it to whatever cases we're reviewing. Now, I will say the cool thing about working with a team is that people have different strengths and can give their expertise and have different knowledge in different areas so that I don't have to know everything. I also feel that critical and analytical thinking skills needs to be a very strong skill because you will be developing things. So I talked about creating like presentations, but sometimes I'm creating surveys and assessments, needs assessments, or I might be reviewing data from an assessment or a different type of survey. And I need to be able to understand the themes. What is this telling us? What do we do with that information? How does that align with our goals and our vision for the work, etc.? So you really need to figure out ways to hone that skill, because on any given day, you are definitely using brain power to navigate what you need to do for your job duties. So the fourth thing I do is work on special projects. So like I said, each day looks very different for me, and the special projects can be things that I initiate, or it can be initiated by another agency, department, etc. And this is both within my 9-to-5 job and in my private consulting work. And so with that, there is definitely a need for creativity. That is a huge skill that I think is a fun skill, but an important skill. So as these projects are coming up, it is challenging you to think outside of the box of how you want to solve this thing or introduce this project, or who you need to work with in order to get it done. So I definitely think it's important to have that ability to be creative and understand that that creativity is going to help you on projects that don't necessarily have like easy sequential steps to follow. So for number 5 is a fun one. I get to travel for my work. So because I shared in the last video that I work for a state agency and I live in a huge state, there are plenty of facilities and sites that I need to visit, relationships that I need to make, collaborations that need to happen, and sometimes that involves hitting the road. And so I think it's a really cool part of the job, but I want to, share that could be a part of what you're asked to do. I actually have a private consulting work trip for later on this month, which is going to be a really cool opportunity, and hopefully I can capture some glimpses to share with you all on my channel. But I think it's just a really privileged part of the job. I recognize that not all employment opportunities offer you the ability to travel, experience different places and different people. So I would say that's one of the cool facets of my job. And so traveling has just been one of those things I've been afforded to do, and I really enjoy that part of my work. So I would say the 6th category of things that I do is kind of just a hodgepodge of random things that I could be doing on any given day. And that includes creating needs assessments, doing leadership coaching, sitting on interview panels. I've sat on so many interview panels, I've honestly lost track and lost count. It could also be doing some community outreach, whether that's tabling, talking to folks to learn more about their experiences. And so I love those parts of my job too, because it's not some projects, you don't want every project you do to be so time consuming, energy consuming. So it's nice to just have those sprinkles of different things that you can do. And I think that keeps the work fun. It can add some levity to it, because whether you're doing equity consulting or mental health or wellness consulting, sometimes it can just be a heavy workload. So this is just a brief snapshot into some of the things I do. If you have any questions or thoughts or want to hear more about something in particular, please, you know the drill, comment, send me a DM. I love engaging and interacting with you all. And I do want to re-emphasize what I said in the beginning. This video is it's not to intimidate you or to deter you from this. I think it's just healthy to understand what you're getting yourself into if you decide to pursue this track. And my experience is just one experience. So please let me know what you think, and remember to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I appreciate you all as always, and until the next time, take care. All right, bye.
I like to be educated, but I'm